My name is Holly Roaring, and I'm presenting my final project for Psychology 5813, Test and Measurement. Feeling stressed out? Check out this stress reduction kit. Simply place kit on firm surface, follow directions in circle of kit. Repeat step 2 as necessary or until unconscious. If unconscious, cease stress reduction activity. Stress affects us all. According to the American Institute of Stress, over 70% of stress-related issues are caused by job issues and workload. For today's presentation, we will be discussing a 30-year-old Caucasian male client. For confidentiality reasons, we will simply refer to him as ZZ. So our client ZZ was referred to our outpatient office for therapy from a former client. He stated that he has been struggling with his vocation and is dealing with some depression, anxiety, and social isolation from others. ZZ was received 2 assessments, the MCMI-3 and the MMPI personality assessments to determine any causal issues and develop a treatment plan in order to help him. ZZ is a 30-year-old Caucasian male who has been receiving outpatient counseling in the counseling center. ZZ has been married to his wife for almost 4 years, and they recently welcomed their daughter into the world. He currently resides in a 2-bedroom apartment with his wife and daughter, but they are planning to relocate to a different city within the same state in order to be closer to family. Overall, his familial relationships appear to be positive. His wife works as a teacher, but he is considered to be the breadwinner of the family. He holds a bachelor's degree from a major university and works as a manager in a fitness club where he oversees the success of the department and handles customer service issues. Although his job has been a positive experience in the past, the recent economic crisis among the oil industry in Houston has greatly impacted the performance of his department and his club. They are struggling to meet budget goals, which leads to stress in his commission-only environment and has placed a lot of pressure on him. For the symptoms, ZZ reports that he feels physically ill often before going to work. This includes a severe stomachache that happens several times a week and can lead to vomiting. Also, he experiences headaches and insomnia. He also experiences a lack of desire to engage in social relationships, and he stated that he experiences higher levels of anxiety when it comes to work-related issues, and his lack of ability to spend time at home with his wife and their new baby. Due to his commitment, he often spends extra hours at work, and this has greatly impacted his personal life. Behavioral observations. ZZ was given the assessments in 2 different sessions due to the length of time each one takes. He arrived on time to each session dressed in his work uniform, which consisted of a black jacket, bright green shirt, and black workout pants. He wore bright tennis shoes that appeared to be well taken care of and clean. Although he appeared tired from a day's work, he did not appear to be disheveled or dirty. He also appears to have good hygiene. He does have facial hair, which consists of a beard that is kept short and trimmed. His hair is also short and is usually styled with hair gel. He is a pretty fit individual, although one of his complaints in recent months is that he has not had the time to focus on his own physical health. He appeared ready to take the assessment during each of the sessions when it was given. During the assessment, he appeared focused and was interested in finding out how he viewed himself. He took longer than the general time for most individuals on each assessment. For the MMPI, he took over 3 hours, and the MCMI took him over an hour. He completed all of the tasks and appeared focused on truly choosing the correct answer on each question. Some of the questions he asked for clarity on, and he almost seemed to overthink on many of them and was anxious to do the assignment correctly. ZZ did not appear to struggle with any vision or hearing problems. He also did not exhibit any strange behaviors such as hallucinations or delusions. He did seem genuinely interested in the assessment, but did appear to overthink a bit on each test item. ZZ is also a very friendly individual, and it was not difficult to establish a trusting relationship. He did not appear to struggle with his motor skills and did not react oddly to any stimuli. ZZ was able to comprehend what was asked of him during the assessment and appeared to understand what he needed to do to complete the assignment. He was also pretty open during interviews, but did need some prompting to elaborate on some of his anxious feelings he's been dealing with. He does appear to light up when asked about his new daughter and seemed to really love his wife and show concern about her postpartum life. Overall, he seemed prepared for the assessment and genuinely interested in what would happen next. For the results of the Minnesota Multifaceted Personality Inventory, validity considerations, the assessment was given after a long day of work for ZZ. He took an extensive amount of time to complete the assessment and appeared to be tired once it was done. Most of his concerns appear to stem from a stressful work environment in relation to his personality. There are no other validity concerns at this time. For symptomatic behavior, according to his results, his most critical concern involved depressive emotions, antisocial behavior, and health concerns. He expressed that he feels blue a lot and feels that others do not care what happens to him. He also expressed that he suffers from an upset stomach several times a week that included vomiting. Also, one of his responses conveyed that he does take drugs and sleeping pills even when the doctor does not order it, but upon further investigation he discussed that he was referring to supplements and melatonin, which is not considered to be a sleeping pill. He does admit that he has trouble sleeping and struggles to get to work on time when his stomach symptoms flare up. For interpersonal relations, one of his highest scores within the critical items was how he related to others. He scored fairly high as an introvert and answered that he felt people were out to get him and that he would be more successful if this had not happened in his life. He also feels that others talk about him and that his speech has changed in social settings. ZZ also answered that he feels no one really cares about him. He also answered that he is often afraid of others, even though he knows that they could not hurt him. He also appears to work under a great deal of tension and feels anxious and stressed. For the MCMI-3, or the Mellon Clinical Multi-Axis Inventory, according to his personality patterns, he doesn't display compulsive tendencies that are above the norm for a healthy adult. His most noteworthy responses were in relation to his own health and his thoughts on how his stressors are affecting him. Although this was the only category that he scored outside the norm group, he also showed some depressive symptoms. This was relatively high score for him, which was a BR score of 71. ZZ also shows some narcissistic tendencies, but it was not outside the realm of normalcy for an individual. For the personality scales, he did show a preoccupation with his health, interpersonal alienation from others, and an inability to control his emotions and some self-destructive potential. This revealed that he sees himself as an individual who is struggling to meet the bar that is set for him and feels that he might be a failure. This is having a negative impact on his physical health and personal relationships as a result. He appears isolated from others, and although he does desire relationships, they are not occurring. For expressed concerns, ZZ feels that he has a lot of vocational concerns. It has led to physical symptoms such as depression and an impact on personal relationships. He seems to define himself by his vocational success and desires to be noticed based on his success. He has become greatly concerned about his health and the negative impact that his stress is having on it. ZZ also exhibits an inability to control his emotions in response to external stimuli and shows some self-destructive tendencies. For clinical syndromes, the most notable symptoms that he is exhibiting is somatoform symptoms. This is physical symptoms that are not necessarily explained by a physical problem. He also exhibited symptoms related to both dysthymia and major depression. His highest BR score was in this area, which was a 60. Other clinical syndromes were very low or non-existent in his raw and BR scores. Overall impression of ZZ, he does appear to be struggling with symptoms of depression, along with anxiety that are affecting his vocational success and his interpersonal relationships. Although the symptoms are present, they were not severe enough to have been present long enough to justify a DSM-5 diagnosis. However, it does appear that ZZ would benefit from the therapeutic process that could make many improvements on his situations. It was reviewed while going over his results, possible link to generalized anxiety disorder. However, his symptoms have not been present for at least 6 months, so he did not qualify for that diagnosis as of this time. To summarize, for ZZ, the most concerning areas were his symptoms of physical pain and illness, social isolation, symptoms of anxiety, and depressive symptoms. He does appear to be in some psychological distress due to his inability to handle his workload. Recommendations for ZZ. ZZ would benefit most from stress management and relaxation techniques to help with coping with a stressful work environment. Due to the physical symptoms he has been experiencing, it would be appropriate to order a physiological assessment for him from a physician. This way, any physical disorder that could be in play could be ruled out at this time. ZZ would benefit most from a combination of individual and group therapy. The group therapy sessions could help him work on his social skills and relationship building. This will be done through role-playing and group discussions. During his individual sessions, he and the therapist can focus on relaxation and stress management techniques by using mediation by using meditation strategies and physical cues that lead to tension in the body. ZZ also needs some guidance on time management and boundaries. He would benefit from receiving homework assignments that focus on helping him achieve healthy work-life balance and be able to spend more time with his family and develop more personal relationships. At this time, it appears that ZZ may benefit from seeing a doctor regarding his physical symptoms related to anxiety. He may also need some services to help improve his sleeping habits. It is important that all staff members that come in contact with him are friendly and kind. At this point, his symptoms do not qualify him for a DSM-5 diagnosis, so this prognosis for overcoming this situation is very good. He would benefit from 3 to 6 months of group and individual counseling to help with balancing his symptoms. It would be critical for the therapist to conduct a follow-up visit with ZZ after the conclusion of therapy to check on his progress after therapy is complete. The purpose of the follow-up would be to check in and see how stress management is going, evaluate his level of personal relationships, and monitor his physical symptoms. At this time, there are no other recommendations in regard to his treatment. An overview of his treatment plan includes 3 problems that were identified as well as goals that will be used throughout his treatment. So problem 1, anxiety is manifested by lack of sleep, somatic symptoms, and low energy levels, which has 3 goals. ZZ will learn relaxation techniques, help him sleep at night, and reduce the occurrence to less than once a week. ZZ will identify events or thoughts that trigger somatic symptoms and reduce their occurrences to less than once a week. ZZ's energy levels will increase to levels of previous functioning, which will be measured through a self-reporting scale. This goal will be mainly focused on in individual therapy with a therapist. Problem 2, depression as manifested by social isolation and poor interpersonal relationships. For the 3 goals, the first goal would be to decrease depressive emotions by identifying triggering thoughts and events within 6 months, to decrease social isolation by promoting social skills and establish at least 3 new social relationships within 6 months, and to improve interpersonal relationships with his wife within 6 months. This specific problem will be identified through group therapy and social skills training. And problem 3, depression and anxious emotions that lead to vocational dysfunction. For his 3 goals, he will identify triggers that lead to poor vocational performance, learn positive ways to express emotions to others in 3 out of 5 social settings each day, and he will increase his positive management skills within 6 months. And again, this training would involve individual therapy with a therapist as well as vocational skills training within a group setting. And that is a wrap. So thank you so much for participating today, and I hope you learned something. Thank you for coming. Have a great day.